All right, so we don't know what's going to happen with Big Val, Jonas Valanciunas. The trade's going to be completed today, it sounds like, for Dario Saric. Today, July 6th, D-line is when all those trades can be completed officially. But we don't know if Big Val is going to be in Denver next season. We don't know if he's going to be in Greece playing in Athens next year. What are your high-level thoughts on this? What's your feeling right now on this conundrum we're in?
We're in quite the conundrum. We are in quite the conundrum. I've been met with a lot of my own thoughts. I've been force-fed a lot of other people's thoughts on this issue, ranging from he's under contract, lock him in the basement, to it's not your place to judge another person's life. Things are bigger than basketball. The whole litany of obnoxious, signal flaring comments about how you view the world. I want him to play here, but I don't want him to play here if he doesn't want to play here. I mean, it's like pretty simple to me. Big Val was never a guy that we had on our list of most desirable targets. It just didn't even, because he's under contract, we're looking at free agency. And frankly, it didn't really seem like there was a path to get him when Ben Wallace stepped up and created this magical path of getting off Dario Saric and into Jonas Valanciunas, which he's a player I've always had an affinity for. I mean, I like him. He's a tough guy. He's a not flashy player, but he is he's a workman-like player, and he really does feel like exactly what the Nuggets need. But you're put in this weird position where it's like, bro, I don't want you to beg. I don't want to beg you to come here. This is the age of the Nuggets where the Nuggets can be like the hot chick, like people should, and it's been proven by the other moves that they've made. It's like Bruce Brown and
Cam Johnson.
Not Cam Johnson. The other
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Thank you, Tim Hardaway.
I can keep going down the list of great players the Nuggets have added over the last.
But these are guys that want to come, and this is what I've been talking about for the last however long, is that the Nuggets are in their era where you can convince a David West to come. You can talk to these guys that are quote unquote ring chasers that see the opportunity of a team that's truly, truly in contention, and the window is wide open, and they want to be a part of it. And, Big Val felt very good to me, but if he doesn't want to be here, I can't beg anymore. Make your decision, man.
But that's what's been so interesting about this whole thing, because the trade gets agreed to. We're like, oh my God, Big Val, best backup center of the Jokic era. This is the real guy we needed. This is going to help Jokic so much during the regular season. He's good. Big Val's good. He could start for a lot of teams. He's going to the Nuggets now. Championship situation. Ideal role for him as Jokic's backup. He's been on some bad teams recently throughout a lot of his career. Now he's in this unbelievable situation, set up to make a playoff run, maybe a championship. And that emotion hasn't been reciprocated from him. That's what's been so weird about it. You're like, shouldn't you want to come to the Nuggets? Dude, you should be excited about this, but it seems like maybe his mind is made up and he's just like, I just want to play in Europe.
Yeah, see, I need to understand the motivation before I can really hunker down, really get drilled down onto a reaction. Is this pressure from his family? Does he feel, are there things, obviously there's the entire story we are not privy to. Right. If this is a play I don't want to be a backup, I want to be the starter, I'm like, F you. Beat it. Who cares? We don't want your services if that's the case. Or if it's a strict leverage play, it's all right. Listen, I'm a firm believer. I've said it on this podcast before. In life, if you have leverage, you should use it. You don't always find yourself in a place of leverage, and you should always use leverage when you have it. I don't besmirch the man for that, but it's just left us in this weird situation, especially coming off of last week, which was, as we said, an absolute fever dream. The Nuggets, the rebirth of the Nuggets, the pregnant man, I guess we're going to call them the maternity ward. Ben Wallace and David Adelman just pumping out rebirth Nuggets franchises.
Yeah, they're good.
And they're good. Yeah. And so it's just been all lovely. And it's just a weird place to be, man. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable fully forming an opinion, but at my heart. And I saw a tweet also that said that Big Val has played in every iteration of the play-in tournament. He's the only player that has played the play-in tournament every single year. And it's like, yes, like you've been a good player, but your time has been largely meaningless, and doesn't the competitor in you want to prove to, even for a season, to prove to the world like how good you actually are? I mean, say what you want. Like I'm not talking down on the European League, but it's a different, it's like, it's not the MLS to the Premier League, but it is a step down. The top competition in the world comes to the NBA. That's not a debatable fact. It's like, don't you want to be able to prove that you can do it on the highest possible level? And then, then you're in your 30s, you have 60 more years of life, 70 more years of life. Like,
he's 33. He's younger than I am.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it's insane to make like a life, like a full life decision at this stage in your professional career. I don't understand it, but I gotta see. But I also, again, I'm very surprised we don't have news by now, since the trade is able to be made official today. That we haven't heard anything.
So since this news kind of broke while we were waiting for Vlatko Čančar to join the show on Thursday, that's when the news initially broke.
Dude, what a great guy, by the way, Vlatko Čančar. If you guys didn't watch that, you want to understand a human being has the right perspective on life. You watch Vlatko Čančar.
Yeah, incredible interview. So the news broke then. There have been some details that have come out since. One, and again, some of these details are like so flimsy, and you're wondering like, who's this really coming from? Some stuff, some wording has been changed over the last couple. Like, who really knows how legit all this stuff is? But what I think might be somewhat legit is he's got a real money offer out there. It seems like, at least from Panathinaikos, and some long-term money he can get, maybe a 3-year deal. And a lot of people have come at me and said, oh, like the European salaries, they already take out the taxes and the agent fees, so he's actually going to make more. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But it seems like some longer term money, financial security could be a thing that he's thinking about here. And he's going to make $10 million under his contract next season in Denver. The season after that is not guaranteed. So maybe that's part of what he's thinking. Maybe it's a family situation. He wants to be closer to home. I don't know. But the latest news right now, and this came out from Mark Stein this morning, Sunday morning, and he said that the Nuggets are actually optimistic that Valanciunas will be in Denver next season.
I love it.
And it seems like, to me, they might be trying to play some hardball and being like, no, dude, you're under contract. Like, you're going to come.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny. Like, this is just obviously the topic du jour, and so at the end of the day, we're talking about the backup center role for the Denver Nuggets. It's not a role that's like, well, first off, it's not a role we've ever seen any production from, but that's why it's so mesmerizing. It's like, oh my god, could this finally be the guy? Finally, be the piece that gets. My other thought is I love analysis in the time of the tweet where you look at what optimistic, like that's the word you hone in on. They are.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I don't know what that means. I love it though. I love like dissecting every word of a 40 word tweet. Yeah, I've also listen, I have homies that are Greek that grew up in Greece, that grew up in the same neighborhood as some of the players that have played for that basketball team, and it's been made very clear to me that there are always under the table dealings going on, trash bags full of cash showing up, things that are like deep, like super off record, and super like the stuff you hear about with like creepy soccer contracts or whatever. So there's no doubt that there is an underworld element of this as well that we can't even start to understand. But I just hope I'm like, come on, man, like, if that's really what it is, it's the money thing. I mean, the Nuggets could offer him more money this year. They with what they were able to get off of with Dario Saric, they could. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like,
well, he's
up that to 14 million.
He's under contract for that 10 mil. I don't think that could change, but maybe they could be like, we'll take care of you next year. When we have that option on your contract.
I wish that I knew all of the pieces at play, so I can have a very clear picture to be like, okay, go through the pros and cons list that he's undoubtedly going through in his mind. But we do know he went to Greece, so that's something.
Yeah. Do you like the Nuggets playing hardball? Because I kind of do. They could be like, no, man, it's cool. Go to Greece and play. It's all good. Like we get it. We'll just pivot and try to find somebody else. Go do what you think you should do. But they're trying to fight it. Like they are trying to get him here and have him honor his contract. And I don't know. Part of me thinks a quote unquote disgruntled Big Val would still be good here. And you bring him here to Denver. You hope, all right, he kind of gets over it. He's around Yoke. He's in a winning environment and cooler heads prevail. I think that's what the Nuggets hope. I like them playing hardball here, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, they are in the set the tone era. We're really finding out what Ben Wallace is all about. Like this, teams front offices have a persona. Like, kind of if you're going to be dealing with Danny Ainge, it's going to be weird. You're going to end up giving up way too many first-round draft picks. Formerly, if you were dealing with Masai Ujiri, like you were going to get fleeced in one way or another. I mean, there's just like it's good for them to establish a environment of no nonsense, but like well-intentioned no nonsense. I actually do appreciate that. They really are. I mean, the Nuggets, it's a blank page for the Denver Nuggets. There's so many things that, have been true that are no longer true just by virtue of the fact that it's different people. So we don't know what this new regime actually looks like. And I agree with you. It's nice to show some fortitude and some balls on this and just be like, hey, listen, man, we know what we have. We have the best player in the world. We have a very good chance to win a championship. And like, we made a really good move, and we're not going to have that ruined because you're being, like the Nuggets have done absolutely nothing wrong. It's
right.
it's difficult for them and for me to swallow the idea that they're going to get penalized for being so deft.
They have been deft. And look, even if this trade goes through, which it will, and Big Val ends up in Europe, I still think this will come out as a win for the Nuggets just because you get off the Dario Saric contract.
Without question.
If we would have been like, okay, we can trade Dario Saric for anything a week ago, we would have said, yes, we'll drive him to the airport. So that's a huge win.
Huge.
And if he does wind up in Europe, like the Nuggets will have a ton of cap room. They're not going to pay anything on his contract. What would happen if that's what takes place is he pretty much just doesn't take the Nuggets money. That the contract will get kind of voided. I think he'll kind of just retire. Nuggets won't pay him. He'll go to Europe and Denver will have all this cap room. Will they try to get an Al Horford? He's still out there, but it seems like he kind of has his mind made up that he wants to go to the Warriors.
If he had his mind made up, if he had his mind made up, it could already have happened. I think that there's most assuredly some sort of conversation like, hey, just hold on, because I guarantee we can give you a better situation and a better offer. There's no rush.
And that would be a huge win. I mean, I think he's a better player than Big Val. Definitely. He'd be a better fit here too. And they'll have avenues to make trades. Maybe they can get somebody else, but whatever happens, like, I don't think this is going to be a storyline that like is going to erode the Nuggets season or summer in any way. I think this is more of a blip. If he comes to Denver, awesome. Like that's what the whole hope was. And I think if he makes it here, cooler heads ultimately do prevail. And I think he'll be good here. If he doesn't, I think the Nuggets will be able to pivot and find another solution. So we'll see what happens. Kind of a crazy way for this Ben Tenzer, John Wallace front office to start, though.
They're going through it, man, and they're passing every test to this point. So it is actually kind of cool in a way that we get to see all of the ways in which these guys operate, and it's encouraging above all else. Like at the end of the day, whatever happens, I just feel the utmost confidence in this front office, like that, and which is a beautiful feeling. It's so nice to have faith in the guys that are running the team that you put all of your faith into, and know that they are running it on good faith, that they want to win, and they are just as committed to getting to that ultimate goal as you are, as a person that is willing to put your heart and soul and follow it. So yeah, I hope we get Big Val. I like him as a player. I don't want it to be another Nurkic situation where we had a big guy that was pouting and grumpy. That was not good for anybody. I don't imagine that would be the case. The Nuggets have had a player leave before in Rudy Fernandez, and it's fine. You just kind of, you're like, okay, whatever. But it sucks that it's such a pivotal moment in their history for the franchise. It's such a big time for the Denver Nuggets. And, we have things like the Jokic extension looming, and there's other big things at play. And you just hope that all things come together and you just get the best outcome. And that's just kind of where we're at.
Yeah. Maybe the big fellow just needs to place a little call.
Dude, come hang out in Denver now. He's probably been he probably thinks about Denver when they have to play in February, and it snows every time. Come now, and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
We'll see what happens. Hey, maybe we get news later today or tomorrow. We'll see.